Distinguished guests, alumni, and friends, and welcome to our Hall of Fame Award celebration on Tuesday, May 18th, 2021. I'm Mary Aschenbrenner from the class of 1983, coming to you live from St. Joseph's University, and I will be your host for this evening's virtual celebration. Although it goes without saying that we'd prefer to gather together in person, we are happy you've joined us for this special evening from the comfort of your home. Tonight, we're marking a notable anniversary in the Hall School of Business with our 30th induction into the Hall of Fame. This is especially exciting because this induction is long overdue. Because of the pandemic, we postponed our 30th anniversary celebration initially planned for 2020. And so tonight, we are especially pleased to recognize my dear friend and one of St. Joseph's most distinguished alumni, Timothy J. Maguire, from the class of 1988, who was chairman of Carr Barth Associates. Tim, on behalf of the greater St. Joseph's University community and all of us here tonight, it is truly an honor to celebrate you and all your successes this evening. You'll hear more about Tim and the milestone anniversary of the Hall of Fame from special guests throughout our celebration. Here to begin tonight's program with an invocation is one of Tim's classmates, Reverend Daniel R.J. Joyce from the Society of Jesus and St. Joseph's class of 1988.
Let us pray. Good and gracious God, we offer honor and praise for your goodness and celebrate tonight as best as we can after a long and challenging year. We give thanks for the ways in which you have provided for us and helped us navigate these uncertain times. Tonight, we offer gratitude for Tim Maguire and his commitment to St. Joseph's University over many years. Tim has assisted so many of his clients in navigating the challenging markets and planning for every possible outcome in every stage of life and opportunity. His good counsel and wise accompaniment have also been important gifts that he has shared with our community at SJU. We ask you, O God, to bless Tim and his continued leadership. Loving God, you have blessed Tim with a wonderful partner in life in his hawkmate, Colleen, and given them a beautiful family with Shannon, Grace, Bridget, and Sean. Keep and protect them as they continue to be a great example of loving care in your world. May our celebration of Tim and his hard work and many accomplishments be a sign to the next generation of Hawks that through your providence, our talents and ambitions can be realized to serve as a force of goodness, equity, and justice in the world. We ask this in Jesus' name and in the unity of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Father Joyce. Tonight marks the 30th conferring of the Hall of Fame Award. Originally established in 1990, the honor recognizes titans of industry who are balancing demanding careers and acting as outstanding community leaders. But the Hall of Fame also celebrates the qualities that the Hall School tries to instill in all of its students: integrity, steadfastness, and self-reflection. Let's take a look now at the distinguished history of the Hall School and this award.
The Hobbs School of Business has always been an excellent school. We are part of the Jesuits' 500-year track record of educating problem solvers, disruptors, and leaders.
While other schools chase the latest job trend and narrow hard skills, we are preparing students to maximize their potential in their careers, their lives, and society. We push students to compete, not just now, but in a future that is anything but certain.
The Hobbs School is known for our strong connections to industry. We're home to 5 highly respected centers and institutes led by dedicated faculty and industry leaders.
Notable among them is the Maguire Academy of Insurance and Risk Management and the Academy of Food Marketing.
The academies give Hobbs students access to top-of-the-line resources and professional networks that strengthen their skill set and ensure success upon graduation.
Students can also get a front row seat to conversations about civic engagement and thought leadership through our Evelyn S. and Anthony M. Carfagno Class of '60 Endowment Lecture Series, which brings to campus Pulitzer Prize-winning journalists, ambassadors, and world leaders, including then former Vice President Joseph Biden.
And they can explore their own perspective, experience, and leadership trajectory through the Dean's Leadership Program.
This 4-year co-curricular program teaches a distinctly Jesuit and distinctly Hobb framework for leadership, helping students develop their own leadership style.
Our students gain valuable hands-on experience through cooperative placements and internships, with more than 90% telling us that co-op helped them secure a more competitive job posting. Meanwhile, our MBA program is ranked in the top 100, and our executive MBA is ranked among the top 25 nationally. Only 2 programs in Philadelphia are ranked in the top 25, the Wharton School and the Hobbs School.
And we are leading the way with the launch of Philly's most innovative MBA. This stackable 3-certificate model allows students to dive deep into what interests them and go on to make a difference within their respective companies.
Our MBA faculty have partnered with the Pedro Arrupe Center for Business Ethics here on Hawk Hill to integrate ethics content into each of the MBA program courses, ensuring students can identify and reflect on issues critical in decision-making.
And now there's a growing movement among business schools around the world and the agency who certify them to address societal impact.
We are joining government leaders and entrepreneurs in using the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals as a measure of success. These goals seek global and cross-sector solutions to some of society's most intractable problems: poverty, gender and racial inequality, environmental threats, and ending conflict and war.
We're committed to helping our students thrive in a world where employees must rapidly make complex decisions, and those decisions demand insight.
Our fastest growing major, Business Intelligence and Analytics, teaches students how to use data to develop new opportunities, recognize effective business strategies, and advance critical decision-making.
And we're one of the first business schools in the country to offer a business analytics master's degree entirely online and be recognized as one of the very best by U.S. News and World Report.
Suffice to say, Hobb is leading the charge not just here in Philadelphia, but nationally and now globally to constantly respond to industry and societal needs.
That's reflected in our students. Time and again, employers tell us our graduates are hardworking, prepared, emotionally invested, motivated, and community-minded.
And it's the reason we're gathered here tonight. Leadership, entrepreneurship, and ingenuity are hallmarks of the exceptional men and women who have been inducted into the Erevan K. Hobb School of Business's Hall of Fame since its establishment in 1990.
The Hobb Hall of Fame honors extraordinary people who have not only achieved success in business, but who also have had a positive and tangible effect on those they have led.
These titans of industry are committed to the highest standard of management and ethical business practices.
They're passionate about helping others achieve greatness and mentoring the next generation of problem solvers, disruptors, and leaders.
We're proud to celebrate this elite roster of individuals who embody the highest levels of integrity, steadfastness, and self-reflection that the Hobbs School instills in our students.
So many people have come together to make the 30th anniversary celebration of the Hobbs Hall of Fame a success. Joining us in honoring Tim Maguire tonight are his family, Hawkmate Colleen from the class of 1988, and their 4 children, Shannon, a 2018 graduate of St. Joe's, and Bridget, Grace, and Sean. I also want to welcome St. Joseph's University President Mark C. Reed, Hobbs School of Business Dean Joseph A. D'Angelo from the class of 1970, the Hobbs School Board of Visitors, Vice Chairs, and tonight's event sponsors. Thank you all for your ongoing dedication to St. Joseph's University and the Hobbs School of Business. The success of this year's fundraising efforts is a testament to how our community feels about St. Joseph's University. At this time, we'd like to recognize and thank the corporations, businesses, and individuals who have stepped forward as tonight's top-level sponsors. Carr Barth Associates and Equitable Advisors, the Maguire Foundation, Essent, Mike Jackson, class of 1971, Jim, class of 1986, and Diane Brecker, Christopher, class of 1981, and Monica Furman, Johnson & Johnson, Jamie Maguire, class of 1984, Millennium 3 Management, Michael J. Morris, class of 1956, USLI, and Wawa. On behalf of St. Joseph's University, I'd like to extend our thanks to all of our sponsors and invite you to look at the full list on the Hall of Fame website. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank everyone here this evening for your generous financial support of the Hobbs School and St. Joseph's University. I'm pleased to announce that through your support, we've raised more than $300,000. These proceeds make possible innovative new programming and experiential learning opportunities, student scholarship, and attendance at nationwide conferences, competitions, and so much more. And now, it is my pleasure to introduce St. Joseph's University President, Dr. Mark C. Reed. Dr. Reed is in his 6th year as president and has established himself as a change agent with true strategic vision. He prioritized the development of a forward-thinking strategic plan in his first year. Its implementation over recent years has ushered in a new era of diverse leadership for the university, invigorated academic offerings, and prioritized enhancing the total student experience. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Reed.
Tim, what an incredible evening for you and for your family and for all of us here to celebrate with you. St. Joseph's University is proud to claim you as one of our own, not only because of your business success, but also the many ways in which you invest your time and talents in your alma mater and our students. Tim, for our students, you model the possibilities and potential that come from consistent hard work and vision. Our timeless tradition of Jesuit education, combined with the entrepreneurial spirit of our Philadelphia heritage, primes our students to compete, not just for today, but also in a future that resists predictions. Never has a St. Joseph's education been more relevant than it is now. The pandemic has made it all the more apparent that tomorrow is incredibly unpredictable, and so its leaders must be all the more adaptable and ready. As president of this university, I know that we face a number of challenges, but greater than any challenge is having the courage and the foresight to address the problems of today, but also to see the possibilities of tomorrow. That is what we must do if we are to truly be stewards of St. Joseph's University. I am confident we are, and that we will. I am grateful for events like this evening's that allow us to reflect and celebrate our accomplishments and the people who share this journey with us. To all of you here tonight, thank you for always supporting us and all that we strive to accomplish. I couldn't ask for a more dedicated and involved group of alumni, students, and friends. And to Tim, on behalf of the entire St. Joseph's community, it's an honor to recognize you with the 2021 Hobb Hall of Fame Award this evening. A sincere thank you for all that you do.
Thank you, Dr. Reed. Joining us now is the Dean of the Irvine K. Hobb School of Business, Dr. Joseph A. D'Angelo, Jr., a graduate of the class of 1970. Dean D'Angelo has helmed the Hobb School of Business for 21 years. His strong vision and planning has created unprecedented growth, making Hobb the largest Jesuit business school in the country, enrolling 3,400 undergraduate and graduate students. His leadership has propelled Hobb into the top tier of national rankings, with academic programs continuing to garner impressive accolades worldwide. Please welcome Dean D'Angelo.
We have a lot to be proud of at the Hobb School of Business. Our programs consistently rank among the nation's best because they have proven success when our graduates get out into the world. Again, our programs are ranked by U.S. News in management, accounting, finance, insurance, and EMBA for the 15th year in a row. And we're giving our students unprecedented access to top industry professionals through our Executive in Residence program. They have the opportunity for one-on-one time with successful business leaders like Mike Angelina, an insurance expert with 35 years of practical experience, Brian Dupereau from the class of '69, the executive chairman of the board of directors of AIG, Dan Hilferty from the class of '78, former CEO at Independence Blue Cross, one of the nation's leading health insurers, Judy Spires, former CEO of Acme Markets, and former president and CEO of Lancaster General Hospital, and a two-star admiral in the U.S. Navy, Tom Beeman, from the class of '74. These professionals will provide practical mentorship and experience through a mix of teaching, career coaching, and lectures, and they will assist with new program initiatives. But tonight, I'm proud to celebrate Tim Maguire, one of our most deserving graduates, and his induction into the Hobb School Hall of Fame. I would prefer us to be together in person tonight, as Tim Maguire deserves to celebrate his recognition with 500 of his closest friends. I've known Tim since I began as dean at St. Joe's 21 years ago. He and his wife Colleen are die-hard Hawk basketball fans, and they raised their family to bleed crimson and gray as well. Their daughter Shannon graduated in 2018 and went to work for fellow St. Joe's grad and Hob Hall of Fame inductee Mark Casale from the class of '86. And we're ready to welcome their son Sean as a Hawk this year. Sean wants to become the Hawk. Tim became involved with the business school because he wanted to give St. Joe's students opportunities. He wants to reach back and help students for whom that first job, that first experience of the professional world will make a tremendous difference in their lives. Under his leadership, Carr Barth convened a panel of advisors and staff members to develop partnerships that support diversity and inclusion among its clients and staff. Tim wants to make the financial services industry reflect the communities they serve, with women and people of color better represented. Tim has come to speak in classes at St. Joe's, he's hired students as interns at Carr Barth, and he's helped launch the careers of many financial service professionals. I've never met anyone more generous with their time. Never mind that he travels all the time, and he manages more than 350 financial professionals as chairman of one of the major financial advisory firms in the Mid-Atlantic region. He always makes time for our students. When Tim offered to become more involved, I asked him to join the Board of Visitors. This is an important group. These individuals are my sounding board for new ideas for academic programs. They give advice for what should be included, and they keep us in step with the industry. And these members are leaders in their fields, just like Tim. And he's brought the same energy that he devotes to our students to his role as board chair. For him, it's not just coming to a meeting a couple of times a year. For the past 6 years, Tim has given us advice on how to better engage and involve the board. This is no easy task. His insight and leadership have helped us to energize our curriculum so we continue to rank among the nation's most elite business schools. Tim has been an ardent supporter of the Hobbs School in other ways as well. He has mentored countless students and provided his own philanthropic support for scholarships. So while Tim has had a spectacular career in the wealth management space as chairman of Carr Barth Associates, it is his living of the Jesuit credo of men and women for others that makes him so deserving of being inducted into the Hobbs School Hall of Fame. Tim wants to try and make a difference in people's lives. That's part of what makes him so special. He's creating a legacy at St. Joe's, reaching back to young Hawks and helping them spread their wings to a bright future. It is now my privilege to welcome some people very special to Tim, and they will introduce him as a candidate for the Hall of Fame. Please welcome Tim's Hawkmate, Colleen, and his daughter, Shannon, who followed her parents to Hawk Hill and graduated with the class of 2018.
Good evening. It's an incredible privilege for Tim to be honored at a place that has been central to who we are as a family. In addition to the countless fun memories while on campus, our studies at SJU not only prepared us professionally, but became the guiding principles of our lives together. I remember the early days of second semester senior year, and the tall redhead that I had my eye on tracked me down outside of Barberlin and asked to see my roster. And a few days later, he showed up in every one of my classes. One of those classes was the Theology of Marriage, which I guess sealed our fate as loving Hawkmates for life. Tim and I were products of Catholic education. Tim, St. Cecilia's in the prep, and Resurrection and St. Hubert's for me. St. Joe's was a natural next step for both of us. The SJU core curriculum and Learn Jesuit values served as the foundation of Tim's leadership within our family, as well as in his career and the community. Our children see the example set forth by their dad and understand our God-given call to strive to make this world a better place. Tim's career, his community involvement, and especially his work on the Hall School of Business Board of Visitors are the products of his focus on others. Mentoring the next generation of leaders is top among his most fulfilling roles. This last year has been a tremendous challenge for us all. It is no surprise that our alma mater once again proved to be our greatest source of strength. As a family, we turned to our classmate and friend, Father Dan Joyce, and faithfully tuned into his weekly live stream Mass. His wisdom and spiritual direction have been our lifeline through the pandemic. So, from our early days on Hawk Hill to today, SJU has provided us with exactly the right tools. Our marriage, our family values, and our faith journey are rooted in the Jesuit spirit. It is a true honor to have Tim recognized in a place that has given us so much. Thank you, and go Hawks.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Shannon Maguire, and I am a proud 2018 St. Joe's graduate in the Hall School of Business, but I'm even more proud to be the daughter of tonight's Hall of Fame award recipient, my dad. Thank you to Dr. Reed, Dean Joe D'Angelo, and the entire Hall School of Business team for hosting this incredible event that I look forward to each year, and for doing such a great job of pulling it off virtually. For as long as I can remember, SJU has been an important part of my family's story. Of course, first and foremost, it's where my parents met. Two Irish Catholic finance majors from Northeast Philadelphia who ended up taking a theology of marriage course together here at SJU that led to their own incredible marriage 4 years after graduation. I am in constant awe of them as a couple, a team, and as the fearless leaders of our family. My siblings and I are so blessed to call them our parents, mentors, and friends. As kids, the Hawk will never die mentality was introduced to us at an early age, and I mean very early. My dad would read us bedtime stories as kids, and before we went to sleep, he would say, "When you grow up, you can be anything you want to be, but you can't go to Villanova." I remember a specific time when my dad asked my sister Bridget and I what we wanted to be when we grew up, reminding us to dream big. In typical oldest child overzealous fashion, I answered, "I want to be a teacher, a doctor, a singer, and a mom." My dad said I could do it if I set goals and worked hard. My sister Bridget thought about it for a moment and answered, "Daddy, I want to be a duck." Now that was a bit of an unconventional answer, but still my dad said, "Go for it, Bridge." Given that he was more likely to let his daughter be a duck than a Villanova Wildcat, I think you could say he's a pretty loyal Hawk. When I think of the Jesuit values I learned here at St. Joe's, the one that really encapsulates my dad is cura personalis, or care for the whole person. Even as he has built his professional success, he has never isolated the part of his person that is Tim Maguire, financial advisor. He has made a significant effort to prioritize being a husband, a father, a community leader, a Catholic, and a friend. Not to mention a basketball coach, a #1 fan at our concerts, a board member, a church leader, and a mentor. My dad never missed a beat, knowing that the whole person is what matters, and he instilled that in us. But it's not just my family who's learned this. Anyone who knows my dad knows that he's a walking advertisement for personal development to care for the whole person. He meticulously studies the habits of successful, happy people, puts them into practice, and shares them with everyone around him, with the primary goal of making them better. Tim Talks, as they've come to be known among family and friends, usually involve a cup of coffee and some words of wisdom from Dad. He has given my family, friends, and even friends of friends such great advice. I've had people I hardly know ask me, "Can you ask your dad what he would do in this situation?" Over the years, we've collected many great takeaways from these conversations. We've learned that we can do anything with two things, a positive attitude and effort. We've learned if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. He's taught us to practice gratitude daily, remembering all of the blessings that we have, and so much more. My dad has a real gift of helping those around him develop the whole person, a value instilled at him at SJU and cultivated throughout his entire life. I'm so grateful to St. Joe's for contributing this value-based foundation to my family's life. Now, I'll turn it over to my dad so you can get your very own Tim Talk. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining virtually for our 30th anniversary Hobbs School of Business Hall of Fame event. I'm honored to be receiving this award tonight. It's a bit surreal for me because I can remember how I decided to go to St. Joe's University in the first place. I was a senior at St. Joe's Prep, watching the Phillies game with my dad in our basement in our twin home in Northeast Philly. I casually mentioned, "Hey Dad, I think it's time to start looking at colleges." He answered, "I guess you're right. What are you thinking?" I replied, "I guess LaSalle or St. Joe's." And he paused and replied matter-of-factly, "St. Joe's. You can't go wrong with the Jesuits." I didn't know at the time how much wisdom was in that small piece of advice. Tonight, I'd like to share with you my best memories of on Hawk Hill, a few lessons learned, and a bit of advice for everyone watching. I've had countless incredible memories from SJU, but of course, the best thing that happened to me there was meeting my wife of 29 years, Colleen McGinty. I was a commuter, and Colleen was a resident on campus. Two different worlds on St. Joe's campus. But as finance majors, we were fortunate to have some classes together. We met through a group project, and I'll never forget the first day we had to work on it. I'd been in the library studying all day. Colleen approached me asking if I could meet with the group in 20 minutes to get started on the project. I responded, of course, but quickly realized that I hadn't shaved or showered and needed to make a better impression on Colleen. So I raced back to my off-campus apartment, showered, put on my favorite Guess jeans, loaded up on my favorite cologne at the time, Obsession, and headed back to the library. While I thought I had won her over with my moves, I came to find out years later she hated those Guess jeans, and she wasn't a big fan of strong cologne. The good news is, while working on the project, I managed to make her think that I was really smart, but I think I was just a good salesman. Well, I closed the sale, and I've been with the love of my life for 34 years. Colleen and I have had an amazing family, 4 children who are caring, hardworking, and faith-driven. Our oldest daughter, Shannon, is a 2018 graduate of SJU in the Hobbs School of Business, and now works at Essing Guarantee, a sponsor for tonight's event, with SJU leadership including CEO Mark Casale, prior Hall of Fame recipient, and CFO Larry Mackley, one of the vice chairs for tonight's event. Bridget is attending Northeastern University studying geotechnical engineering. Grace attends Fairfield, another Jesuit school, studying neuroscience. Our youngest son, Sean, is an incoming SJU freshman this fall. I'm very proud of my children and the value of our strong family relationship. I'm eternally grateful to St. Joe's for giving me my lifelong partner and mother to our kids, Colleen. While meeting my wife was a huge part of my SJU experience, the Jesuit values that I learned have stuck with me and shaped the way I live today. There are 3 main values I took away from my 4 years: being a man for others, embracing the Magus, and living by the Jesuit Catholic faith. One of my favorite Jesuit values is fostering men and women with and for others. My time at SJU taught me to be a man for others in my personal and professional life. I'm so blessed to have a career that allows me to live out my life's purpose to make a difference in the lives of others, bringing positive energy to everything I do and sharing that energy with everyone with whom I interact. I love what I do. I often say I've been on vacation for most of my career. I remind myself daily, my goal is to help others become the best versions of themselves. To me, being a man for others calls me to be the best husband, the best father, and leader in my organization and in the community. Second, I aim to live out the Magus, striving for excellence in every part of my life. I made some observation of highly successful people. They have a growth mindset. They're always setting bigger goals to be the best they can be in every aspect of their lives. No matter what your ability is, effort is what ignites that ability and turns it into accomplishment. These successful people truly live out the magis, as I strive to do so in my life. Whether you're a student, you're starting out your career, or later in life, I urge you to ask the question, did you once push harder than you do now? Did you study harder? Did you have a greater sense of urgency than you do today? Did you set more aggressive goals than you do today? Or have you not yet reached your maximum potential and have identified the path to growth? I think it's important to constantly push yourself, to stretch, to grow, no matter what stage you are in your life. Keep getting uncomfortable, and don't let fear and doubt get in your way. Live out the magis and strive for excellence. Lastly, my time at St. Joe's allowed me to develop my Catholic faith, learning from the Jesuits. And this learning hasn't stopped since I left St. Joe's. As Colleen mentioned, we spent all of quarantine tuning in to our friend and classmate, Father Dan Joyce, as he celebrated Mass virtually with my family. He has been a great spiritual leader for us during this time. The faith that I fostered during my time at SJU has been the foundation of my life through all its ups and downs. We all face challenges and will continue to do so. The loss of a loved one, hardships in school or work, an illness, or a disability. And the last one is something I know personally about. 18 years ago, Colleen and I had our fourth child, a boy after 3 girls. It was an exciting time in our lives. In addition to being a busy professional, husband, and father, I was also an avid athlete, golfing, playing tennis, skiing, whenever I had a chance. Around this time, I started to notice some limitations in my mobility. I had difficulty returning that shot in tennis that used to come very naturally to me, or struggling to make that familiar cut in that black diamond mogul run on the ski slope. I needed answers. So I met with a world-renowned neurologist who diagnosed me with a rare genetic neurological disease called adrenoleukodystrophy. When I was diagnosed, the only context I had for this disease was my cousin Jimmy, who suffered severely from it. He became paralyzed, eventually needing a feeding tube, and died before the age of 20. I felt terrified. I felt heartbroken. I really felt hopeless. Was that going to be my future too? What would happen to my wife, to my children? I couldn't believe this was happening to me. When I finally got the courage to ask my doctor about my trajectory, he explained that my phenotype is adult onset, mostly impacting my mobility and balance. Nevertheless, he told me that I would lose my mobility over time and will likely be in a wheelchair by the age of 50. And that's when I had a choice to make, to give in to this disease and focus on my limitations and what I couldn't do, or focus on my capabilities and blessings that I do have and not let this disease define me. I relied on my faith to make this choice and decided on the latter. And I believe this is the path God intended for me. In many ways, this disease has been a blessing instead of a curse. This disease has made me more resilient. It's made me a better leader, a better husband, and a better father. And my motto in life has been adapt, adjust, and move on. And I'm living out my motto every day. I encourage you to lean into your faith when you face adversity and trust that adapting, adjusting, and moving on with God on your side will make you a better person. I have a much better perspective on all the blessings I have in my life, an amazing family, great friends, and a career where I can make a difference in the lives of others. My life is fuller because of my challenges, and I'm very grateful. In conclusion, St. Joe's University made me a man for others, a fierce promoter of the Magus, and a faithful Catholic. I'm honored to be speaking tonight about an institution so important to me. I remember walking with my daughter Shannon in Mandeville Hall years ago. I pointed to the pictures on the wall, the Hall of Fame recipients, and I said, these men and women are giants in their industry and communities. I am humbled to be among them on this 30th anniversary of the Hall of Fame Award. I would like to give a special thanks to Mark Reed for his leadership, particularly throughout the challenges of this last year. To Dean D'Angelo, a great friend who has done so much for the Hobbs School of Business. My fellow Hobbs Board of Visitors and the vice chairs for this event. We're part of a special community that is based on tradition, faith, and academic excellence. The Hawk will never die. Thank you.
Tim, it gives me particular pleasure to give you this award for all of the things that you've done for the Hobbs School, but especially what you've done for our students. And we really, really appreciate all of your dedication. Congratulations.
Thank you, Joe.
Tim, you're such an inspirational leader and a true treasure to the St. Joseph's University community. Congratulations. On behalf of all of us, thank you for joining us to celebrate Timothy J. Maguire and the 30th anniversary celebration of the Hobbs Hall of Fame. A recording of tonight's virtual celebration will be made available on the Hall of Fame website within the coming week, and we invite you to share the link with your family and friends. Congratulations again to Tim. Thank you and good night.